And welcome. We're back to this week's episode of the Overflow Podcast at thisisoutcry.com. As always, my name is Joaquin.
And I'm Jake.
And we are excited to be back. We took a week off because of Easter.
Correct.
So last week we had Easter, and Jae had family that had come down from New York, and with all just the stuff, we decided just to go, you know what, let's just kind of step back, take a little break. I think it worked out, though. I went and hung out with my dad, ate a big, fat, juicy ribeye that we grilled. So, that's how he, I wasn't gonna stay. And he's like, oh, your sisters are coming. We'll get steaks. And he had me at steaks.
Right? Oh, your sisters are coming. All right, Dad.
All right,
see you next
that's
week.
cool.
Oh, we'll get steaks.
Hey, Jay, why don't we just take Easter off since your brothers are, that was my excuse, since your brothers are coming down. But, so we are back. This is the weekend right after.
Which is
Easter.
Which works for what we're going to talk about later. So
yes, it works for all the different things that we do.
Because that's how we do what we do.
So yeah, listen.
When we do things,
it's been
without knowing what we do.
Knowing what we do, yeah. So I found this seminar on how to be better podcasters. So hopefully we'll be doing that this week.
So as you can tell, we haven't listened to it yet.
So we can be better podcasters.
we
have no idea what we're doing.
We haven't taken part of it yet.
So this might help us increase listenership by, I'm hoping 5 listeners. That'll be a victory for me.
Man, no. I'm gonna go for 6.
Jay always trying to
out
somebody.
Come on, we got to do it big. Go big or go home.
But hey, listen. So what's up, man? How was your week? This last week, other than your
It was dope. I had 2 of my older brothers and my niece came down for spring break, right? So it was funny because one of them was sick for 3 days, so he comes down from New York where it was freezing cold and snowing.
Right.
Comes down to Georgia. No, Joe. To the south. It was like 80 degrees, and he got like a cold or something. He was quarantined for 3 days.
Not so tough. Which niece came down?
Joey's daughter.
Okay.
Jalen.
So
it was really cool. It was really cool. Just, I mean, you came over. Dude, you came over. You didn't see my niece?
Yes. No, I thought that was Joanne's daughter.
No, it was Joey's daughter.
No, the one that was in.
Right, yeah, Joanne's daughter was there.
Joanne's daughter.
It was a little one. She was like,
the little one.
Yeah.
Okay. You know what? I don't know why I didn't make that connection, the little one. I just thought I probably thought she was one of Stephanie's kids.
Probably. I wouldn't blame you if you did, right?
I think that's what it was. I didn't make the connection that was Joey's daughter. That's hilarious. I'm on.
This is a dope picture. All right, so it was just good. You know how we get when the brothers get together, right?
Yeah.
So. It was just dope. It was dope.
Yeah, poor Junie was taking the brunt of the jokes that Sunday.
Dude, but I mean, he was prepared, right? Because I told him, you know that you're gonna hear it because, I mean, the last time they saw Junie, he was shorter,
right?
No beard.
He was 2
younger.
years?
Younger, no beard.
Wait, he's got a beard now?
Yeah, he does. He's a little chubby.
Wait, he's got a beard now? Wait a minute.
He always shaves it off because he wants to keep that fresh face. But today, because he went away with his best friend to
Savannah. They were in Savannah, Georgia,
and he came back with the scruff. Right, so he said, I'm gonna go shave. So I thought he was gonna shave it all off again, but no, he came and he lined it up. Like he's learning.
Oh, nice. I used to line up my beard, then I just forget about it. I never liked lining up my beard because and you might have seen pictures. I used to shave up on the bottom, keep it straight.
Yeah, that's how I do it.
I'd shave but then I don't know. I'm not very good at that kind of stuff anyway. So You know how like when you look at yourself and you're trying to measure, make sure your lines are even, and then you realize one's a little lower, so you start shaving the one that's a little lower.
You ended up shaving everything
yeah,
off.
you get to the point where you're like, I gotta start over again.
Yeah, that's how I learned.
I mean, I was just like, I got to a point where I just got tired of doing that. You know, then I used to have the little soul patch.
Yeah.
You know, for a while, and now I'm just going with the scruff.
I was the soul patch guy too.
You know, I'm hiding my my cheekbones. The lady at the vitamin shop, when I saw her, when was it? Tuesday? Before working out? Yeah, it was Tuesday before I was working out. She's so funny. This is how you know you go to a place too much. When you walk in and they're like, Joaquin, so good to see you. She goes, and then she's like, oh, wait. Come here. We got some new keto stuff. And I thought about you when it came in. And she just starts like handing me, like showing me this stuff.
That's dope, though.
And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And she goes, yeah, you can buy the case and you can do this. And then she was like, oh, you can do this. So I was like, oh, man, that's dope. And then she goes, you're looking great. She was like, your cheekbones are coming in. I'm like, wait, I got cheekbones? It's like I always said, I thought I just had chub bones and just my chubby cheeks. But
yeah, that's why I don't shave completely for two reasons. One, because I have chubby cheeks. And two, because I look mad young. Don't need that.
Yeah, if anybody out there listening, if you Google Cabbage Patch doll, and when it comes up, that's what I look like with no facial hair.
I might do it though after all of this is done. I might do it.
After all of what is done.
No, I'm not ready to talk about it yet.
Oh.
All this stuff.
Oh, okay. After your diet situation, gotcha.
Yeah.
That's all you can say. After Jay loses 20 pounds, he's gonna shave his face. And then
I think it's more than that, but sure.
Nah, man, 20. You'll be good. Trust me. 20.
Whatever,
Your first 20. Everything is by 20s.
whatever the doctor says.
Everything is by 20s. So I'm saying when you lose 20 pounds, we celebrate.
Yo,
that's what I'm saying.
So yo, I
got 10 more pounds before we celebrate.
I went to the eye doctor for like the first time.
And you got eyes?
In years. I went to the eye doctor, right? Got to get an eye exam.
Can you see clearly now?
I haven't. No, I don't. That's the thing. I don't. I was like, hey, when's the last time you had an eye exam? That long ago.
Right.
So
you gotta get glasses?
I gotta get glasses. I gotta get.
You're an old man.
I gotta get glasses for work.
For work. I'm doing the air quotations.
No. She said for work. She was like, it's so funny. I laughed because she was like, yeah, you know, you're at that age already where you have to like start considering like reading glasses or glasses, you know, for work, since you sit staring at a computer screen all day. And I stare, like you've seen the two big screens that I have to work on. Right. So you have to, you're already at the age where you have to like consider it, because I went from reading everything on the last line to reading everything on the second line.
Second to last?
The second to last.
It's like the big E and then that second line, and he's like, that's all I can see.
I'm going from the bottom up.
Oh, okay.
The second to last. And I was like, yo, and I, you know,
yeah, I'm down.
I'm reading the bottom one, right? Okay, what's the
real
last
confident,
line, right? And I'm like D K B, all right, and then she's like.
It's like, yeah, you got none of them right.
No, she didn't say that. She was like, all right, read the next line up. And I said them all. And I was like, okay. And when she took it off, I looked. I was like, damn. I was nowhere near.
No.
I wasn't even close. But but the funny thing, right? Because I thought I was just gonna need glasses, right?
Right.
So no, just, you know, for work and to read if you need them, right? You know, these aren't for all day, for every day.
Right.
Like don't use them to drive because they'll be blurry. You know, you mess up your eyes. And then on the prescription, she checks off for the glasses to be polarized, right? So what that means is that they'll turn into like sunglasses when I go out into the sun, right? They'll get dark,
right?
But I'm like, why would she check that off? And she told me that I'm not supposed to wear them any other time, but besides when I'm in front of a computer.
Maybe they'll darken up when you're in front of the computer, because that's an issue.
No. I asked because I'm like, because I want to know, like, did you just try to soften the blow? Because don't soften the blow. If I need to wear glasses, then I need to wear glasses.
Yeah, those are so cool though,
right? And then she was like, "Oh no, that's a mistake. I'm sorry. Just ignore that." And she crossed it out. Like, lady,
that's hilarious. Even though I remember when. Now we're talking about being old. Remember when that was a feature, became a feature, and it would take forever for the glasses to get dark, but it was such a cool thing, right?
Yeah. Now it's like almost instant.
Now it's like super. No, but it's funny though, because I sit in front of a screen all day. I've actually looked at, and I probably need to just go ahead and pull the trigger. You can buy the glasses with the yellow tint that help. So when you're looking at the screen all day, it helps to keep your eyes from getting tired.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they also sell, now for you, because you have the bigger screens, for you, they actually sell screens that you can put on your monitors to help reflect or whatever it does to that light, so that it does so your eyes don't get tired. So you might want to look into that. If you're going to have to wear glasses to use, that might also help.
I'll see, because if I can get that, then the job will pay for that.
Yeah, I mean, you'll still have to wear your glasses, but
I just got to get them.
But that'll make your eyes less tired.
I just got to get them. I'm either gonna get them, fill out the prescription, or just find the equivalent at Walmart or something, because it's not like a big deal. Right? It's not like a big deal. It's I forgot what number it is, but I know I've seen that number in those Walmart glasses.
You could check mine out, because I have some. I have some reading glasses.
That's right. I forgot you did.
and whenever I pull out my Bible with the tiny writing, it's what I put it on.
And that was the thing.
I got those for my dad.
He
had two pair.
I went to look at something on my phone. And I did this. And
I do that. I do that all the time.
Right? Because it was blurry, and I'm like, I pull. You guys can't see. I'm like pulling my head.
Yeah, he's pulling his face back.
Right? And because the phone was blurry, and I'm like, holy, as soon as I did it, as soon as I went like that, I was like, holy crap.
Yeah, reach back. They're right there. Jay, so you can so when you read Bible scripture today, you can read without mistakes. Or you increase the
I'm gonna have to increase the font size like Joe.
Right?
Like I saw his phone, the font was huge. I was like, man,
I know, right? That's where you gotta go look, dude. Just give up and get glasses, right?
But he wears glasses.
Give up and go see the doctor, get better prescriptions. That's hilarious. So yeah, all right. Well, that was Jay's adventures in the eye doctor. That's hilarious. I started weightlifting this past week, which was an adventure.
I'm sure.
Needless to say. So I have my supervisor he's working out with me, right? He's training me. And so on Monday he was like, all right, man, we get there. And and here's the thing I hate about, and this is why I don't like going to gyms. It's like I like Orange Theory because you see people in shape, but then you see people that are not in shape.
Yeah.
Or maybe worse shape than you. You're not, so you don't feel as bad. It's just a bunch of slender people, right? The people that are in shape, they're slender. You go to the gym, right? So we go to LA Fitness, and you walk,
especially that gym,
and you walking in, and you're seeing these guys that are my size, right? But ripped, right? And I'm just like, and the whole time I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, you're just starting out. You're just starting out.
Oh, dang.
Everybody's got to start somewhere, right?
Sorry, wait, pause.
What happened? Oh, news break.
News break. So you know that I follow Zack Snyder on Vero?
What?
I follow Zack Snyder on Vero, right?
Right. I did too until I deleted the app.
That's where I got those images that I sent you.
Right.
He just created a, not just, like, he didn't just do it now. Actually, he did it yesterday. Right? A separate account called BVS Reference.
Right.
With the caption that just says it's all in there. And so, I followed it and I tapped it, and it's all the Easter eggs.
Oh, nice.
All the hidden stuff that that he did visually that he didn't.
So what I'm hearing is you got to send me the link so that I can join Vero and then start following him too.
Dude, I have to close this because if not, I'm not gonna.
Dude,
focused.
You shouldn't have opened it to begin with.
No,
Jay.
I opened.
Very rude, Jay.
Yeah, it is.
I'm chastising Jay right now. Very rude.
Oh, good.
Tu quieres pao.
I opened it to like show you the picture to see if you wanted to mention it, but then I got sidetracked because it's like.
And then you never showed me the picture.
No, the one that I sent you
about
the spear.
The spear. We might bring that up later. But anyway, the point is that
all right, you went weightlifting.
I went weightlifting,
and you feel funny.
I feel funny because I'm over here doing like curls with like 10-pound weights.
Okay.
Right. The guy next to me, he's got like 90-pound weights, and I'm like, ugh! I'm like, what? And you see the guy next to me, ugh! And so afterwards. I'm just kind of like, man, I talk about feeling bad about yourself. Because the guy next to you is like the same height as you are, and he's crushing 90-pound dumbbells, just curling them, just.
Like when we were at the Y, it
was terrible.
There was one time I went by myself. Right, Junie wasn't with me, Mike didn't go, and I'm just like in my workout, whatever. And when I went to go to the next machine, I think it was for legs. I was doing like maybe like 50 pounds.
Right. Sweating.
Right? No. Someone was there, so I was waiting. And it was this like maybe like 16, 17-year-old kid.
Right.
And like pushing like 150 pounds. It's just like, and he's doing fast reps. And I'm like, and I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I hate you. I hate you so much. I hope you get explosive diarrhea.
No, even worse. We're sitting there, and I'm doing. I forget what I was doing. I was doing, but I only had like 12 pounds. Now the reason I had such light weights was
it's because you're a lightweight.
It's because I'm a lightweight. No, is part of what we've been doing all last week is working on form.
Right. Okay.
Right.
Yeah,
So
that makes sense.
So instead of doing like chest presses, or chest curls or whatever with like 30 pounds. I could do them with 30 pounds, right? But he's like, no, we're going to do them with 10 or 12, because I want you to get the form right.
Right.
You got to get the form. Everything was about form all week. So, I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And even then, I mean, I'm working my muscles, right? So my
Makes a lot of
muscles are
sense.
getting fatigued. They're getting tired. Some things that had a little more weight than others, as we're kind of working through this. But the first day, so I get that. And in my mind... And this is what it is, right? And this for anybody out there that's listening that's been like, I want to go work out. And I get it. It's very intimidating. But you got to start somewhere.
Yeah, and you know, just stay focused on you.
And most people, like we ran into the guy that he knew, and he was like, oh yeah, I'm starting to work on my boy, and he was like, oh yeah, man, listen to this dude. He's gonna help you out. You'll get strong, And this dude was like diesel, right?
Dope.
And but I mean that's the thing, is that most places. Most people are going to be like, yo, it's awesome that you're starting this. If you need help, how can we help? You got to ignore the people that are, jerks.
Word.
Right? Because you're always going to run into them. But
jerks.
Your ego does take a hit when you're doing a workout with less weights than this girl next to you who's shorter than you. She's using more weights.
Super tiny, but she's a savage.
And she's doing her workouts. And then at that time, you're thinking to yourself, I think this is the reason no one will ever love me. No one will ever love me, because I'm just over here going, empty bar. And she's like, 60 pounds. Or 100 pounds. You're like, man, this just ain't right. This is something not right about this. What's up, girl? And the whole time I'm thinking, yo, if it goes down, this girl will whoop my tail. If it goes down, if she, for whatever reason, gets mad at me, I'm done. That's all she wrote.
Yep.
But anyway, so that was my adventures. I am still sore, but I am super excited. Gonna get back on it. Working on my, as I like to say, I'm working on my Puerto Rico Christmas body.
Puerto Rico, okay.
So when I go to Puerto Rico, I want to be down to 230. so that all remember all the family that sees me that's always called me fat when they see me, now they can't call me fat.
They'll still call you fat.
Well, that's true. They're jerks. They're jerks.
Yes, they are.
All Puerto Rican families are jerks.
They'll still call you fat. Eso se pegó y se quedó.
¿Verdad? Yo, even when you're skinny, for you, right? It'd be like, flaco,
Uh-huh.
¿estás gordo? Well, which one is it? Am I flaco or am I gordo?
Era flaco, te está poniendo gordo. So
I'm just gordo?
am I gordo now?
Just dumb stuff. So let's see what we got here. Boom, boom, boom. All right, you know what? Let's talk about this. Did we talk about worship night? We didn't talk about worship
We
night.
have not, but no, I want to save that for next week.
For next week?
Yeah.
Well, let's just kind of mention a little bit tonight since I just brought it up. So worship night, what'd you think?
Worship night was amazing.
I think it was pretty good.
There you go. We talked about it.
It was pretty good.
No, it was dope. It was dope. They impacted me a lot more than I impacted them.
Word. I agree. I thought they did great for their first time performing or leading worship, I should say. Sorry. For leading worship. Overall, like anything, it was the first night, the first Legacy nights. There's some wrinkles and some kinks that we got to work out. But overall, I thought it was great, and I think it was a good step forward.
Yeah,
definitely.
It was a big step forward.
Yeah, I mean, it was a big step forward, the fact that we finally got it done. But it was a good step forward that, well, you know how it is. Sometimes when you do something after the first one, when you do the first one, you look back and you're like, like a whole lot went wrong that we need to fix.
Right.
But with this, it was more like, okay, couple of tweaks here, couple of tweaks there, some good constructive encouragement, for the team, and we can just something to build on that's positive instead of in like experiences we've had in the past where it's been like, this wasn't that good, so we got to replace it, or this wasn't that good, so it's got to be changed 100% completely or whatever.
You know what?
So,
first and last, we good.
Yeah.
But
so
it was really dope.
Yeah, it was really dope. The kids were cool. I actually, I went out and ate with them at the IHOP afterwards. They had me cracking up.
Yeah, they told me.
And
just today they told me.
Just today they told you that they had me cracking up?
No, that you went out and you hung out with them.
Oh, that when I hung out with them. Yeah, it was cool. Gave my pancakes away. One of the kids was a brand new Christian, this Indian kid.
Yeah,
who's been here, I think this has been here like less than a year. I forget his time frame. But it was very cool because I looked at him like, so, tell me your story. What are you doing? Like, so you're Indian, right? And he, at first it was like, do you know where I'm from? Like, you're Indian. It's like, yeah. I said, let me guess. I said to him, and let me guess, I know what you're studying. And he's like, what? I said, computer science. And everybody just starts laughing. I said, and I go, because it's either computer science or medicine. It's one of the two. I went with computer science. He was like, I'm pre-med. It was 50-50 chance that I missed. So then I was like, so what's your story? Like, what are you doing hanging out with these? You're Indian? So I said, you're Indian. So I said, so are you Muslim?
What are you doing hanging out with a bunch of Christians?
Yeah, you're Muslim, Hindu, Christian, atheist, agnostic, don't know what you are. And so one of the girls was like, tell him your story. He's like, I just accepted Christ a month ago. I was like, oh, that's amazing. It's so great.
It was dope.
That's so great. So that was a good time.
I get
fun
newsletter
time.
Updates.
Nice. That was a fun time. So we're really excited. So if you weren't able to come now, if you're in the Atlanta area, if you're in the Kennesaw, Ackworth,
the tentative
Marietta.
date for the next one, this is the first time you're going to hear it.
Oh.
The tentative date for the next one will be May 11th.
I thought we talked about that when I was over there at the house. Because we're looking at the 27th.
Right.
But then we pushed it back. So I think that's the
second Friday of May.
Second Friday. Yeah, we're trying to keep it away from the third Friday of every month.
The 4th.
The 4th?
We're trying to keep it away from the
4th. That's right. That's right. So anyway, so hopefully it'll be the second Friday of every month.
Right. Hopefully.
That's what we're looking at. We got to get that set straight. So we got to talk to Mike.
No, it's not Mike. It's more about what if the kids. I gotta stop saying that.
Well,
if the guys have
compared to us.
Yeah, of course, especially compared to me. It's like I have kids older than them. Anyway, if they're, but their availability, right? Because of school, finals, whatever. So, but I threw it out. I threw it out on them, to see, get a feel.
So hopefully,
and,
we'll get that locked down.
I think I'm just need confirmation from one more kid.
Right.
One more kid to see if he has finals that week or not, and if not, then May 11th it is.
So we'll get it locked down, and we'll get this figured out. So just hey, listen, just keep an eye out on all the social media stuff because we will definitely be posting it up soon-ish once we get the word. So anyway, I thought the worship night was great.
Yeah.
Overall.
Yeah, it was dope.
Great way to start Easter.
First time doing communion.
Jay's first time doing leading communion.
Not doing communion.
I felt bad. I should have coached him up on it, but that's okay. He did an okay job. He did an okay job.
It's all good.
He did an okay job. I give him a 3.
I had to do it.
A 3 out of 10.
I had to do it. He sucked. I had to do it.
Even though
sooner or later I had to do it. Right?
Even though the best part of communion was I'm doing communion. I'm helping Bean. I'm helping Sebastian. So I open up. And I give him the wafer. He eats. He goes, good, delicious, or whatever. This is good. I was like, no, it's not. And then I give him the juice, and he like kind of sips it, I'm like, dude, you're supposed to like chug it, bro. And he's like, Tio, this is good.
No, but when he was done, what did he do? When he was done drinking the juice.
He was like,
it's like a solemn moment. Everybody's quiet, right? Contemplating, quiet contemplation, meditating, and all of a sudden you just hear a
like he was thirsty. That was like just right at the right moment he got that juice, Oh, that kid.
Oh, we all started cracking up. It was dope.
That kid is something else. So we're super excited about that. Don't forget that Jay has he did a 90 seconds for last week. He'll be doing another 90 seconds this week. So be on the lookout for that as always.
Also, this just in on Tuesday, if you remember, well, our loyal listeners, if you remember, we had a guest named Christina Shear.
Yes.
Who's a social media evangelist. So on Tuesday, her and her ministry partner invited me to be on their Facebook Live broadcast.
Nice. This Tuesday? This coming Tuesday?
This coming Tuesday, the Flow Show.
What's the date? What's the date on this? The 10th. Sweet.
The 10th. From, I think it's an hour long, 8 to 9.
8 p.m. or 8 a.m.?
PM.
Oh, okay.
And, as soon as I get more information, I'll get more information tomorrow for a link and all that so I can put it up.
Yes.
It'll be up on...
so I can type in, like...
on our Facebook page and on the website, right? And we'll see what's up.
Who's this guy?
It'll be it's a live stream, right? It's not something that's going to be recorded and edited, right? It's going to be a live stream.
So nice.
It'll be. She's like, oh look, I was on your show. Now you could be on mine. It's different. Like it was just.
Oh, that kind of hurts.
Like
man.
It's a podcast.
Kind of hurts, Christina.
It's just gonna be, it's a podcast. It's just your voice. It's whatever, right? It's like this is Facebook Live. Like, hey,
you're gonna see Jay. He's gonna look a little lighter because you have like face makeup on. No, he's gonna be pulling a Sammy Sosa on us.
Oh my goodness, no.
And if you don't know what that means, type in Google Sammy Sosa. You'll see what that means.
Before and after.
Before and after. Oh, that's awesome. So we excited about that. So one of the things, a couple of things real quick we wanna bring up as we jump into topic Jay has for us today. Here in Atlanta, if you're in the Atlanta area, I know you've heard the news. if you're not in the Atlanta area, you might have heard the news because it was such a crazy thing that happened. So a couple weeks ago,
Correct.
it was not last week, but week before last. This mom was, I think it was wasn't it Easter Sunday?
I believe so. Yes.
This lady was driving home, when this car pulled up next to her, and a guy took, I think it was 2 shots into the back seat of her car and took off. And at first, the lady thought it was just like firecrackers or something. She didn't really know what it was. And then she noticed that her kid was quiet. And when she looks, the guy had taken 2 gunshots into the backseat of the car and shot her 3-year-old son. And, when she finally realized, they got him to the hospital, and he passed away. Unfortunately, right, tragically, this little 3-year-old kid just sitting in the backseat chilling, and he gets murdered. And what's so crazy about the story is that no one knows why.
Or who.
Why or who. All they know is it was a silver vehicle. I think a silver Charger or something. Dodge. No, I did remember. Dodge Charger. I think is what it was, and they are. Everyone's just kind of just flabbergasted. Is a good word. Just kind of flabbergasted because there appears to be no connections to crime, to gangs, to anything.
Correct.
And why would these guys just pull up and take 2 shots into the backseat of a car? And so it's been on the news because, like I said, it's such an odd thing. Last week, this rapper by the name of 21 Savage, who is friends with the family, he stepped up and he offered to pay the funeral costs,
right,
for the family. And so,
saying that they've got enough to worry about right now that
right,
they don't need to also add to that the funeral cost. So he's
right,
and he's not covering a portion. He didn't donate to a GoFundMe.
Right.
He covered the entire.
Right. He said, "I'm paying for the thing." And he's a friend of the family. So, as much as we don't, me and Jay being old, cranky, crotchety guys,
grumpy old men,
we're not big fans of this whole mumble rap thing. But we'll get props when props are due, and props are due for 21 Savage for stepping up and taking care of the costs for this family. And so, if you guys are out there, remember, just say a little prayer for this family. And just that, it's one of those things, man. We're just, praying that something breaks because, as far as Joaquin is concerned, these scumbags need to get caught, thrown in jail for what they did. Yes, right. I call them scumbags.
You could have said dirtbags.
Dirtbags, scumbags.
You could have said dirtbags.
What's the difference? One's
vocabulary.
Scumbags?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I don't know what Jay's getting at. We're gonna have. I guess we're gonna talk about it later. See what else we got. Okay. Oh. The other thing is, the new trailer for the Han Solo movie, dropped today. Solo, a Star Wars story, original. It's like a origins movie for Han Solo. What you think?
It was good. It was like I said earlier, it looked like a fun space pirate adventure.
Yes,
right?
What I said swashbuckling.
Right, so it looks fun. I'm a fan of Star Wars, but not like one of those big time fans, right?
Right.
But I'll watch it, right?
Right.
I watched all of them, including Rogue One, which was also like a separate kind of story.
Did you watch the last one?
No, I still haven't.
Yes, I haven't watched it.
I watched the last one. That shows you how big of a fan I am. I haven't watched it yet.
Okay.
And but this looked fun. It looked fun, even though I still think that the guy that's playing Star Wars, that's playing Han Solo, he looks kind of weird to me. I don't know what it is. Something about his face just looks.
Well, I think it's the in your mind when you think Han Solo, you think of the young Harrison Ford,
right?
In '79.
That could be it.
And he doesn't
at all.
Look like him.
I mean,
maybe he favors him a little bit.
I don't see it anywhere.
But
that's okay. I mean, whatever. I mean, I thought seeing Donald Glover
as Lando
was dope.
He looked, he kind of looked like a young Lando.
Yeah, he does, right? You see that, and like, I can see that. Not so much, but it doesn't matter. You know, it looked fun. It looked like a fun movie.
Yeah,
it looked like a fun movie.
And it had a troubled production, so looks like Ron Howard stepped in and finished it. So it looks like hopefully he righted the ship,
and we hope he doesn't weed in it.
You know, I'm just gonna ignore you.
Let's hope he doesn't weed in it, because
all right, we're done with you.
That would suck.
All right, so last two things briefly. As you guys know, we're huge DC fans. We love the DC TV shows for the most part. And right now, as far as the DC shows that we watch, this is my ranking. All right, of the shows that we're watching right now. I think Gotham is 1. I think Black Lightning is 2. Flash is 3. Legends, and then Arrow.
I'll agree with that list.
Right? That's my ranking in order of...
Especially with the fact that you didn't even mention Supergirl.
I don't watch Supergirl. You watch Supergirl. I don't watch Supergirl. So she ranks last because I don't watch
Supergirl. I used to watch it. Now I just listen to it.
Oh, okay. So whatever that means.
I'll put it on while I'm at work, but I won't pay any attention to it.
Gotcha.
I'll just keep it like in the background to distract me.
You know, because I think Legends has been great this season. I think they're finally hit their stride.
Legends has been great.
You know, I think Flash has been solid. I might even put Legends above Flash a little bit because just the way the last few episodes have been. Flash is kind of refinding its footing. I feel like
I'm tired of mopey Flash,
but it's been good. But I think Legends has been overall super enjoyable, super funny.
That's not the Flash of the comics. He's so mopey. He's so emo.
Well, he's better than the first 3 years.
Yes,
so
very true.
And then Black Lightning out of nowhere, like it's just, and there was only 2 episodes left, and it's just been so good.
And even though early reports said that it was going to be separate from the Arrowverse, they dropped an Arrowverse reference.
A couple of that because they dropped Supergirl.
Yep.
And who else did they drop? Who was it? I can't remember.
I think they dropped somebody from the Flash. I have to check.
Yeah, but it was dope.
But still, they connected it. They connected
it.
So
we're so excited. But then Gotham.
See that crossover episode next year.
Oh, with all of them? That'd be amazing. But Gotham has been, as far as we're concerned, killing it. They have given us.
It's been phenomenal.
They have given us Batman's Rogues Gallery. Not just here's the seeds of the they've developed and they're there ready for Batman to show up.
Who showed up a couple weeks ago
as Batman, right? I mean, it's been amazing. This last episode, these last 2 episodes, they've had Jerome, aka the current Joker, who they've said is not gonna who's just kind of the
influence,
the precursor to the actual Joker.
Right.
And he's been leading. There was a scene in this last episode where they're at a banquet table, and you have the Penguin on one end of the table. You have Jerome at the head, and then around them you have Firefly, Freeze, Scarecrow, the Mad Hatter.
And then they brought in Grundy.
Then they brought in at the end,
Penguin brought in Grundy.
They bring in Grundy, and then you have the Riddler's back.
Who can I say? That's my only with Gotham is what they're doing with Grundy, right? Like he was Grundy, he was the Grundy, and now he's back to Butch, but he still looks like Grundy.
Yeah,
it's reminding me of when Marvel went and they brought back the Gray Hulk, but he was like a Vegas club. He ran a Vegas club, and he was in a suit and a fedora, whatever. He was known as Mr. Fix-It. It was like some weird thing. When I saw Grundy like that with the suit and he was talking regular, it's like, yo, that's like Gray Hulk. Don't do that, DC.
Right,
Because
right.
The Great Hulk storyline in the Hulk mythos was garbage. Like you don't want to see like a mobster Hulk. That's
Right.
like, no, don't do that.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting, but they could be doing something like what they did with the Riddler, where he was the Riddler, his mind breaks, he becomes, Ed again, but within him,
Yeah.
there was still the Riddler. So something could happen in the future that breaks Butch's mind and puts him right back into that Grundy mode. But whatever, it's been
and also the development of Bruce as Bruce, not as Batman.
Yes.
As Bruce, right? Then the development of Catwoman and the development of that relationship.
Yes.
Right? Like especially this last episode, right?
Yeah.
And then the new Poison Ivy, who
was phenoms.
is like amazing. And she came over from the Arrowverse.
Right. She
was the Golden Glider. She was Snart's cold sister. Right? So dude, like it's been
and then she had Ivy powers.
Right.
And that's been the thing. Like the villains have their villain powers, right? It's the Mad Hatter with, hypnotizing people with the clocks.
And always with the rhyming.
Yes. And then you have they introduced the Joker Venom.
And then the Scarecrow is like the video game Scarecrow.
Right.
Like,
He's
super
scary, yeah.
Right? And yes, they introduced
Joker Venom. And the Scarecrow created it because he's like the chemist, guy, whatever.
Which makes sense. It's different. It's different from the mythos, but it makes sense for this show.
Right. It makes sense for this Batman world that they've created. Right. And then with making now this was interesting when they're making Barbara the new Raish.
Which is like way off base. But I'm curious to see where
which is interesting what they're going with it because she's crazy. Yeah, she's nutty.
Yeah, she's crazy.
But I kind of liked the way they they kind of introduced her as the new Raish, and then just the whole new direction, like where it's just gonna be like female League of Assassins ish kind of situation, and so it'll be interesting where they go. I think Raish comes back somehow.
Well, it's called Lazarus Pit. It's not called somehow.
No, but remember we don't know what they did with him. After Bruce killed him.
That's true.
So
it's called Lazarus Pit.
Maybe. We'll see what happens.
That's the only way he comes back. It's called Lazarus Pit. And then he's going to kill Barbara. Maybe that's the way it happens.
Maybe a meteor comes down. I don't know. And a meteor comes out of it.
I love seeing Lazarus Pit on Gotham and Lazarus Pit on Arrow.
Yes. So it's been it's listen, if you haven't gotten into it, go to Netflix, watch them. You got to get through the first season.
The first season.
But then from there, just second season each season from there gets better. You're getting Gordon is becoming more and more Jim Gordon.
Right, because now he's the captain. He's got to grow that mustache.
You got
in those dream sequences. He had
the mustache. Yeah, but you're right. Yeah, the Bruce Wayne, like the party boy, but then now he's kind of snapped back and he's focused again. And that was great that he kind of got lost. That was I like that arc within that smaller arc of his within this season where he kind of got lost, because he let his pain just kind of override him instead of controlling it. So I thought
which makes perfect sense.
I mean, he's kind of so tall. How old is he? Because you see him driving all the time. He's got to be 16 by now, right?
I don't know.
I'm like, how is this kid just getting in cars and just driving around? I guess
because he's Bruce Wayne.
I guess it pays to be a billionaire,
right? Because he's Bruce Wayne. he owns Gotham.
He owns Gotham. But listen, I
swear Gotham is like, I think Gotham City is fake. It's like the Truman Show. Like they're all paid actors and he pays for them. Like,
right.
All that stuff is fake.
It's like they pull back and it's just they let this kid think he's that guy. No, but it's been really good. It's been really exciting show to watch to see kind of where things are going.
Another show I've been watching. I know you haven't been watching yet, but I actually been watching Krypton.
Okay.
And I am liking what they're doing. Because it's a new story, right? It's a new story.
Right.
Never heard. Goyer's he wrote it and whatever. But I like what they're doing. And Brainiac is just like what pulls me in to watch it all the time is knowing that Brainiac is true to like the comics, true to like he's the scary Brainiac, not the computer Brainiac, but the scary world eater Brainiac that isn't the big ship that is like basically him, right? Like the one from Superman versus Brainiac, that cartoon movie that we had, right? But it's well written, right? It's well written. I mean, the only issue I have with it is that Adam Strange he uses a lot of slang, like whatever.
Right.
But that's just like the purist in me. But I like the development so far.
All right.
As soon as I have an issue, I'll let you know.
All right. So if you like Krypton, go ahead and watch that. And that's it. So the song for the week, we got this off of
New release
today as always. It is Jen Ledger, who is drummer / singer for Skillet, has an EP dropping out this Friday called Ledger EP, and then the song, and we'll have it on the website and everywhere. It is called Not Dead Yet. Dope song, kind of that girl rock, heavy kind of rock sound. So check it out.
And again,
super dope.
Her voice is amazing.
Super, super dope. All right, Jay. So what do we got going on for this week's Bible?
You got to start playing that.
No, never. Yeah. No.
I need that. No. Well, it's funny because I was telling Joaquin how I went ahead of myself by doing the 90 seconds, the 90-second devotional last week based on this, but that's what spurned everything, right? It just catalyzed everything. I'm just thinking of all these things, right? Because as a pastor and as somebody, and I'm sure you can relate, Joaquin, that been in churches and doing things in church, Easter is one of the busiest days in the church, right?
Right.
It's one of the most packed out days in the church. Everybody comes. Everybody in the mother comes.
Right.
Because I remember when I was knuckleheading and I would show up to my mom's church, or I would show up to church because I grew up there on Easter, but as a gift to my mom. Like, it wasn't because, it's Easter, let me go. And I'm sure a lot of people would do that, hey, Mom, what do you want for Easter? I want you to come to church with me, right? So I would show up to church for Easter to be there with my mom. So Easter, churches are packed out. Everybody's thinking about the resurrection. You got movies, Jesus movies everywhere, things like that are everywhere. And even if you don't believe in Jesus, if you're going to go to your parents' house and you're going to have Easter dinner or an Easter reflection, whatever, you're still celebrating Jesus, whether you want to or not, because it's all about the resurrection. Well, for us anyway, right? Even with the chocolate and the bunnies and whatever. It's like, thank you, Jesus, for resurrecting. This chocolate bunny is delicious, right? But I was thinking how we celebrate the resurrection, right? We as Christians, we celebrate the resurrection of Christ, right? For us, it's Resurrection Sunday. A lot of people greet each other with, he is risen indeed, right? Things like that. And then what? Right? Because I'm always that guy to ask those questions, like, and then what? Right? So we celebrate the resurrection on Sunday, right? But what happens, what do we do with that knowledge or with the resurrection the following days afterwards, right? Because scripturally, the disciples were hiding. Right? They were hiding. They were being persecuted. They were hiding. And when he came back to life, right, he appeared before the Marys first, and he let them, and he told them to go tell the disciples, hey, I'm back. Yeah, I'm paraphrasing. I'm back, and I'll see them soon or whatever.
Who's back?
Right?
Jesus back.
And then he shows up, like they went and they told the disciples, and they didn't believe him, told them they were drunk, whatever. They didn't say that really, but I'm just saying, like, they didn't really believe him. They had to go check for
hysterical
themselves,
women.
Right? And until he appeared. And even when he appeared, right, like Thomas didn't believe it. And he was like, I'm not going to believe it until I put my finger in the hole. Right?
In the wound, right.
And things like that. But, but afterwards, after he appeared to them, right, he told them to wait for the Holy Spirit, right? But I'm focusing mainly on Luke 24, where Jesus appeared to these two guys on the road to
Emmaus.
Emmaus. Thank you. I keep calling it Emmaus.
it's like some EDM DJ.
An Israeli EDM DJ. But right
on the road. On the road. On the road to Emmaus.
Anyway, listen. So he appears on the road. Like he appears. It's not that he was walking, he bumped into them. He appears on the road to Emmaus, right? And these two guys are talking, and they're talking about things that were apparently believers in Jesus, or believers or followers of the way, and they were talking about the things that just occurred in Jerusalem, which is basically his crucifixion.
Right.
And they were hoping for more, like everybody else was hoping for more, hoping that Jesus was the one that was going to free them from the captivity of Rome and set them up and whatever. But Jesus appears, and I love the fact that they're having a conversation, and he just like joins. Right? He just like, he just like bumps in, like, and he doesn't join as in knows it all and appears, I'm Jesus. He shows up and he said, what are you guys talking about? And they look at him and they don't recognize him. Right? They're like, yo, are you the only guy that doesn't know what just happened a couple days ago? Right? You know? And he stays and they converse and they have this whole conversation. They invite him over to their house for food, right? And they don't recognize him. Right? Jesus, the resurrected Jesus, is among them.
Right.
Walking, talking, and they don't recognize him, right? Until he does something, right? He breaks bread, but he broke bread in a way that they were able to recognize who he is, right? Who he was.
Right.
And he did all the things, and then he was ghost again. Not that he turned into a ghost, but just like he was God, right? But I wanted to focus on that, on the fact that he walked and talked with them, and they didn't know who he was because, you know, a lot of us celebrate Easter, right? And we go to church, whether we're believers and we're going to celebrate the resurrection because we know that Jesus died on the cross and he was buried and he rose again on the third day, or we don't. We go just out of habit because that's just something that we did and we know that it's something that is done. Or we go like I used to do, you know, to make my mom happy. But, you know, a lot of us walk this walk and we talk the talk and we know the songs and, you know, and it's become so ritualistic that we forget that Jesus walks among us and he speaks to us, right? But we're so caught up in what's happening.
Correct.
Right? Like they were caught up in what happened, right? We get caught up in what's happened and what's going on that we forget that Jesus is with us.
Right.
Right. And so we focus on what's going wrong. Right. We focus on the problem. We focus on the issue. We focus on the bad things. Right. And we forget that Jesus is with us. And where Jesus is, there is hope. There's liberty. There's love. So, you know, it's hard. And I understand it's not like Jay's a super Christian and, you know, he's Jesus all the time. Right. Because I get
because he's not.
I'm so not. Right. And I also fall into that.
Yeah.
Right. Where, you know, work, life, whatever. Right. And I forget that Jesus is with me. Right.
Yes.
He's walking with me. Right. In the middle of the problems, in the middle of the issues. Right. He's talking to me. Right. Letting me know that he loves me and he's alive and that he lives in me and that because he resurrected. Right. I have also overcome all things.
Yes.
Right. He overcame death in the grave. Because of that, I have also overcome all things.
Right.
Right. So that's my focus right now. That's what the devotional is that, you know, he walks with us. Right. He's still with us. Right. And it's again, it's easier to forget that he's the center and he's the source of our everything. Right. Than it is, you know, to give in.
Well, it's funny you say that because so I was looking at the scripture that you're basing this out of, and actually on the verse 32. So verse 31 says, and this is when they he was at the table with him. He said he took bread and blessed and broke it and gave it to him. Verse 31, and their eyes were open, and they recognized him, and he vanished from their sight. Verse 32 says.
That's what I meant when I said that he was ghost.
Verse 32 said, they said to each other, and I find this interesting. Sort of. They said to each other, did not our hearts burn within us while he talked to us on the road, while he opened to us the scriptures? And they arose the same hour and returned to Jerusalem, and they found the 11 and those who were with them gathered there, saying, the Lord has risen indeed and has appeared to Simon. Then they told what happened on the road and how he was known to them in breaking the bread. But that phrase, though, they asked themselves, did not our hearts burn within us while he talked to us on the road, while he opened us to the scriptures? So, so I mean, it's just in my mind, right? You think they're walking with Jesus, right? And he's talking to them. And it says he opened the scriptures to them, right? And it's like they're going with reflection. They're going, wait a minute. It's like we knew, like our
hearts knew, it resonated.
Knew who he was, but we just. I would imagine the conversation would go like, but we were so caught up in the grief and in what had happened that we missed that he was speaking directly to us. And only when we sat down and so think about it, only when they sat down, right? And it said that he took the bread, he blessed it. But to me, now we could look at it as either they recognized him, maybe he said, with what he said and what his blessing was, right?
Right.
And they broke the bread, and that kind of opened their eyes finally. Or I would think maybe it's a combination of things, right? Because when they're on the road, what are you doing on the road? You're walking. You're paying attention to where you're going.
Watching out for bandits.
You're having a conversation with right. You're having a conversation with this guy, and you're telling him all the things what happened, and you're in grief. And even in the midst of all that stuff, right, your heart is telling you this is him. But only until you sit down.
But your eyes are focused on something else.
But until you sit down and you allow everything else to rest, right? Then when he does, only then do you really see that he's there. He was there with you the whole time, right? Because you're able to me, it's like you're able to focus that conversation that you were having with this stranger that you're walking with. Right. And I think a lot of times that's kind of how we are, we're so focused on like you were saying, we're so focused on all the other stuff that's going on, that we miss that Jesus is with us. But maybe part of that is because we don't take the time to just sit.
Right. And
break bread with him,
and
as it were.
That resonates back to Psalm 46:10, where the psalmist says, be still and know that I am God. Right, and I will be exalted among the nations, and I will be exalted in the earth. Right, like it's not hey, it's okay. We know that God is in everything, and everything is in God. But we are told, right, be still and know.
Right,
right, and like you said, like you're explaining now, right, and the walking and the talking and the grieving and the looking ahead and looking away and whatever, right, all the busyness, right. But they sat down, they were able to relax and breathe and focus and pay attention. Right, so they were able to be still and know that this guy that they were walking and talking with, who's breaking bread in front of them now, that was Jesus.
That was Jesus, yeah.
Right, that was Jesus.
And how different. I mean, this is just a thought exercise, right? But then how different does the story play out if they reacted to the burning in their heart while they were walking, right?
This would be a different subject in the podcast.
Well, no, it could even be the same subject, but it could be they recognized that it was him, and in that walk he just gave them more and more. Right? Because I mean, in the walk he was still teaching them.
Yeah. The word
right?
The word says, let me find it. The word says that, and beginning with Moses and all the prophets, he interpreted to them in all the scriptures the things concerning himself. That's verse 27.
So he was still teaching them, even though they didn't recognize it was him. So what does that tell us? It tells us that that God is God is always teaching us,
Always speaking to us.
always speaking to us. But now imagine if in that moment they realize it's him, how more impactful, right? Potentially.
Yeah.
Was
That
that conversation, so that when they get down to break bread and Jesus breaks the bread, because I think ultimately that's where it has to end. It has to end with him breaking bread.
Which is what?
Right.
Which is communion.
Right. Which is
Do
communion,
this
which
in
is
remembrance of me.
So I think like I said, this is all my speculation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just a thought exercise here. But it has to end with him breaking bread, because that's the final thing he did with the disciples.
Yeah.
Before he vanishes to go be seen by the others. But then how much more impactful. So now they're like, man, we just got that final lesson from him. We just got that final word from him. Mm. Guys, man, we were walking with him. We were talking with him. And like, it was so amazing because, and he taught us even more. Here's what he taught us, right?
Right.
But that is if they would have recognized
him.
that burning in their heart. They acknowledge it. So what is that? So in my head, what I'm hearing, part of it is this we're going through life as we're doing whatever it is that we do. We have those moments where we feel like God is definitely doing something in us.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And then it's going, well, do I, what is this? What is it that you're doing, God? Or do I just keep pushing forward?
Right.
And maybe later on we see what he was trying to tell us at that moment. Or do we try to live in a way where we try to acknowledge that moment, right? In the moment. Not after the moment's passed, but in the moment. And how then could that potentially shift and change our life, our views, our choices?
Right. I get asked a lot, how do you recognize, God's voice? Right? How do you recognize Jesus's voice? And it's always the same answer, right? And this is an exercise that those of you who are listening and have these questions, you can put into practice. But I recognize when it is that God is speaking to me, when I can feel, right? I can feel his words like come alive in my heart. And it's a weird thing. It's like, everything is cool and I'm just chilling, and all of a sudden I have like this I only know the word in Spanish, but it's like a shivering in my heart. And like I know there's without a shadow of a doubt that the Holy Spirit is revealing, or the Holy Spirit is speaking into my heart about something or someone. Right. And it just resonates. It resonates. And a lot of times it could be something that I'm not thinking about. Right. Or a person that I'm not thinking about, and I get a word, right? And it's like without a shadow of a doubt. But with that, I want to say that, it's okay to doubt that. But doubt it. Don't doubt it and reject it. Oh, it's just craziness, or it's just me, it's just emotion, right? Doubt it
and explore
it. Yeah. Doubt it and pray on it. Doubt it and move and act.
Or sing,
right? And ask.
Because I know sometimes for me, and I don't do this well enough at all. But sometimes for me, I'll be sitting there and I'll get like I'm terrible with lyrics, right? I'm like the worst. I can hear a song, I can hear the music, and I know what the song you're talking about. You quote me a lyric, I don't know what you're talking about, right?
Right.
But sometimes I'll be sitting there and I'll get a lyric from maybe like a worship song, and that's what begins to kind of rotate in my mind. Now, most times I tend to push it out my way.
Yes.
Like
most people do.
It's just, but the reality is I believe, and even thinking about this now, he's talking about this now. It's like God knows, that's like a way to get my attention. And what I need to do, right? This is what Joaquin needs to do, is I need to explore that lyric. Let that lyric flow. Find the song. Listen to the song. It's like God is trying to speak to me in a way that he can grab me, right? But I'm just either ignoring it, or I'm pushing it, or I mean, it's whatever. For me, it's like a thought comes into my mind.
Yes,
might be a scripture verse, and might be a scripture idea. Sometimes I get like a message pops into my head, and sometimes I'll explore it, and I'll start like preaching the message in my head.
That's cool.
Right? I like
dope.
start preaching like this message in my head. But here's the thing: I'm just preaching it. I'm not really internalizing it. It's like I'm just letting it out. But what I need to do is, in a way, I need to let it out so that I can bring it back in.
Yeah.
Right? Because a lot of times it's stuff that I'm dealing with. It's stuff that I'm going through. Right? It's not something that's coming to me that I'm just like, oh, let me write this down because it's for somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But it's because it's for me. But I struggle with, right? My struggle is with taking those thoughts, whatever, and wrapping them into myself as it were. Kind of a weird way of saying it, but wrapping it back into me.
Yeah.
No,
that's good.
And going like, oh,
that's
like,
good.
What is God telling me?
Because sometimes that's exactly what it is. Sometimes it's not for somebody else, right?
Right.
Sometimes it's most times it's for you.
Yeah, most times it's for nobody else.
Most times it's for you.
Right. And that's for me. It's always been funny. Like, and a lot of times I'll be like taking a shower, and that thought just pops into my head. This string.
Yeah.
And when I allow myself to explore it, I mean, it's usually pretty good messages too. Like, I should just start recording them and just put it out there. But if I really think about it, like if I really step back a few days later, I'm like, yo, like that was for me, because at this moment I'm going through whatever, and it's like God's preaching at me through me, right? He's speaking at me through me, but I don't hold on to that. I don't really explore that. So maybe that's something that, for all of us out there, it's God speaks to us differently, right? And that's the thing. It might be if you're for Jae, it might be, he might get the itch to write, because Jae likes to write, right? So it might be something where he might want to start jotting some ideas down, or he'll do his, he'll do a recording and he'll post it as his, car thoughts. And so maybe that might be for Jae, right? I mean, who knows? For you, it might be journaling, it might be drawing, and in that moment that
or
you're
music, like you said with lyrics.
Whatever it is, right? Lyrics. You might hear a lyric in your heart. Maybe if you play, I don't play, but maybe if you play and you just get something, you just start playing a chord, and within those chords that you're playing, you kind of feel God just, and listen, all this stuff, and I get it. Someone like me saying this, it's just a little weird, right? Because I'm not that guy. But I do recognize, right, that we're all different that way. And God speaks to us, all of us, differently that way. But the problem that we all have is that we don't give in to whatever that mode is that God is using.
Yeah, we
speak to us.
We are the guys on the road to Emmaus. God is among us, God with us, right? Emmanuel, God with us. But we're so caught up that we don't recognize that he's with us, because we haven't paused, we haven't rested, right? We haven't given him.
Right.
I'm gonna say it, and call it what you want.
Jump back.
We're so caught up in our life,
right,
and in our problems, and in our whatever, that we have not given Jesus time,
right,
focus just on him.
Correct.
Right. We haven't given him. We separated time for work, school, family, whatever. Right. But we haven't separated time focused just on Jesus. Right. And he's just there waiting, and he's talking to us.
Right.
But we're like, all right, hold on, and we're distracted. Right. Because Jesus was speaking to them. Right. It's in the scripture. He was teaching them.
Right.
Revealing scripture to them. Right.
And they were receiving it.
But they weren't recognizing it. Because they were still focused with things that happened 3 days ago.
Yeah. So with all that being said, is we're going to go ahead and kind of wrap it up now. And that's this. Pay attention. As you go throughout your day, as you go throughout this week, pay attention to the different ways, right? As you're walking your road, right, which is your life. It's not Emmaus. You're walking your road, which is your life. Pay attention to the ways that God is speaking to you. And then work on and exercise, allowing yourself to explore what it is that God is saying to you.
Right, and exercise,
and studying it.
And exercise the ability to hear clearly God talking to you.
What it is. So, hey, as always, we're glad that you joined us. This is outcry.com. There, we'll link you to everything. to Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all the other stuff, the podcast, everything. So go to thisisoutcry.com. We will talk to you guys next week. And hopefully you'll have an amazing week. We'll have an amazing week. And hey, this is Joaquin.
I'm still Jay.
And this is the Overflow Podcast. Till next week.
Peace. Thanks for listening. Remember to head on over to thisisoutcry.com for more content. And don't forget to subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, or Stitcher.